Hey, you're an author. You want to write stories that celebrate creativity. You want to write books where heroes triumph over evil. You want to write the things that have been welling up inside you for years. The things that you daydream about when you're supposed to be working. Those are the things that you want to write. You don't want to write codes. I don't. You don't. But at the same time, you recognize that, well, you kind of need to have a website so that, well, people know where to find you and they can connect with you. Fine. We'll build a website. Thankfully, nowadays there's a ton of different web builders out there that we can utilize to make beautiful author websites that, well, don't require any coding really at all. In this video, we're going to take a look at the web builder web.com. And we're going to ask ourselves the question, is web.com an actually good web builder for authors? It's time for another author side quiz. Let's go. Web.com has been around for quite a while actually, and they've been doing domains, hosting, security, among other things that you need for online stuff. Now they actually have a web builder for people who don't know how to code to be able to build a website utilizing their system. They have several different price tiers here, and actually you can see you can get it pretty cheap nowadays. Now the one that we're going to utilize and look at is the e-commerce essentials, because as an author, well, we wanted to make sure that we knew how to utilize the store system on our web builder. And there was this one feature that really kind of stuck out to us on this one, and that's this: the abandoned cart saver. Ah, the golden egg of online sales right now. Ah. No, but in all reality, the abandoned cart saver is a pretty cool thing, and it helps people make more sales because, well, it reminds people, hey, you didn't finish buying the product. So it's a pretty cool feature, something definitely to consider when looking at an online store. Well, let's jump into it and take a look at web.com and see if it's really useful for us. After we log in, we come to this dashboard page, which, if we're really honest, is kind of confusing. I mean, what? Where's my website? How do I, what? And there's all sorts of different things going on over here. But what you're actually looking for on this one is e-commerce. So you click on the e-commerce. It actually comes to this page, and it gives you an option to connect your domain, to set your renewal status, whether you're active right now or not. And then there's this button right here where it says Manage Store. That's the button you want to click. Yeah, I know. You click Manage Store and it brings you to a separate dashboard, a completely separate dashboard. So anyways, when you're over here on this separate dashboard, now you see this button right here where it says create your site. That's the button you want to click. You have to click this button so that you can get this button, the edit site, and finally we're off to the races. So if we have to rate the dashboard, it's a little clunky and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, so not great. Once we get past the dashboard and we're in the actual builder, it actually is a pretty nice system. You got spacers, you got titles, you can put in text, you can do all sorts of things, and you can actually make a pretty good looking website from this. Now, the other cool thing is if you build, you can actually start from a template. They actually have a lot of really cool templates that you can utilize as a springboard for your author site. But remember that you don't need to go really crazy because your site is an author site, and you really don't need people freaking out about how pretty or crazy things are on the site. You really want them to focus on your stories, on the things that you have to offer as your product. So the first thing you'll see is you got these pages, you've got the store, you've got a blog, you can mess with your theme. This is really cool. You can change all your colors, make sure that all your colors match with your author branding. You can change all those things. You can change headings and buttons and the way that the buttons will appear. You can customize all that. So there's actually quite a bit of customization on the theme editing that you can do. So that's pretty cool. You get to organize all your pages. You've got your main menu that has all these things going on right here. And then of course you've got all your hidden pages, which you can put them all down here. And this is really simple. You can actually just drag and drop. So if I decide that I want this one to go up here, I throw it up there and it's up there. When we want to change something on here, hey, we could just change it. We can click this. We could actually just replace the image here if I want to replace this image with a different one of me on the top. Great, easy peasy. All of this is really easy and simple to use. Set up blocks and throw in different elements. Over here you can actually get a preview of what the block will look like when you throw it in. Utilize blocks to set yourself up and build off of that foundation. It's really helpful. But you can choose any kind of block. If I want to add a video, all I have to do is drag it and drop it in here, and it'll drag and drop this awesome video block in here for me. I can change the name of it, I can edit this, I can throw in the link to my own video, I can even set it so that it auto plays, which means that you can actually set up a welcome video for people visiting your website for the first time, which is kind of a cool thing that you can do. You can throw in all sorts of cool blocks. You can throw in what people are saying, which I utilize that on some of my writing pages. For example, one of my stories that I have a lot of reviews on is Playing in the Dirt, and you can see that I set up reviews here, and actually if you preview this, you can move over and see even more reviews. I set up my story page with some good description work. I have the store item as my image here so that you can see it, which is really cool. One of the other things that you can do is you can actually make sure that it will look good on a desktop, but also on a phone. And a lot of people search the web on their phones nowadays, so you're going to want to make sure that works. If you come here, you can actually click on which view mode you want to see. So this is a desktop, this is a laptop, this is what it'll look like on a iPad or a tablet, and then the most important one, a phone. What is it going to look like on a phone for when people are scrolling on their phones? Look, it's going to show all your good stuff, it's going to show your reviews. If something on the phone view isn't quite right, what you need to do is you need to go back to the desktop mode, move some things around, and then go back to the phone mode just to make sure that it didn't mess it up. So that's one of the limitations with web.com right now. You can't actually change the phone mode, and it'll be different on the phone mode versus the desktop mode. I don't know if they're going to fix that at some point soon, but it is a feature that would be really nice to have. Now, when you have the e-commerce essentials plan, you have access to building a web store. Web.com has their store set up separated out from the web builder. Obviously, that's why we had some issues trying to figure out why our dashboard wasn't showing our website. A little bit weird, but it still works. We're gonna go here to go to the store. We're back to that one. Dashboard, strange, I don't know why, but that's okay. So all we have to do is go to our products. From the products page, we can actually create a new product. And as you can see here, I actually have several products already created. If I click on my product, it'll open up the product page. You can see that this is among the evergreens, the short story. This is the date it was created. This is when it was listed. I want to change the price to $1.99 because I think that's a pretty fair price for a beautiful short story. And actually, if you don't know how to create your short story into a beautiful PDF, I have a video of that on the channel. Make sure you check that out. We can upload all of our information into here. We can upload the description. We can upload all of these amazing things into here. But strangely, we have to go over to the My Store tab to actually input the digital product. So you have to click this, and then you can upload the digital product, and then set your maximum download attempts so that people aren't downloading it a million times and sending it out to everyone, right? It's strange that it's on a different page. I don't know why. It's a little bit weird, but what are you gonna do? After you get all your store set up, you could go and see what your store is going to look like on your website by going back to the dashboard, back to the point where you can edit the site, and then you're back in the site editor. Once you're back in the site editor, you can click on the store and you can see what it's going to look like, and it automatically puts this stuff into view. If you go to store view, you can see all the products here. You can click on them and you can go and see their individual store pages. Now, it's a little bit funky, but it actually isn't a horrible system, and it's actually pretty user-friendly for the most part. Once you know where to start. If you can't figure out the dashboard, you're gonna have problems later, because you gotta be able to find the stuff so that you can actually edit it. Once you are past that and you're in the site editor or you're in the store editor, it's actually pretty easy to use. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is customer service and support. One of the things that I think is interesting about web.com is they are a big corporation. They do all sorts of things on the web. They've got all sorts of products that they're utilizing. So their customer support team doesn't just work with web builders. So if you have a problem and you need help fixing something while you're utilizing the web builder, you may not get a web builder specialist helping you through the chat. I personally had a problem trying to connect my domain name, which I own through Google Domains. When I tried to connect it, I kept getting an error. So I reached out to the support team hoping that they could help me get it fixed. We tried all sorts of different things, nothing worked. I actually spent 4 or 5 working days trying to get this problem fixed, and I never actually got a solution. They put in an escalation ticket, which was supposed to go up to their tech team so that they could try and figure out what the problem was. I didn't really get any real updates for a long time. Every couple of weeks they would send me an email saying, hey, we're still working on this, we don't know what the problem is. After over a month, they finally sent me an email that said, hey, the problem is on our end, it's not really your fault, it's something that we have to update in our entire servers to get it fixed. Unfortunately, that means that it won't work for you. Well, if I'm trying to set up a website to run my author business and I have to spend 4, 5, 6 working days just trying to get one problem fixed with them, it didn't bode well for customer service on that front. Now, here's the thing. Overall, do I think web.com could be a useful web builder for an author? Yeah, I think it could. I think that the web builder interface is actually really simple, and I think it's great for beginners who really have no experience with web design whatsoever. A lot of things snap in place, kind of like Legos if you follow the instructions. They have a lot of blocks with a lot of great templates, making life really easy, making it super simple for you to build off of the templates that they already have in there. To be totally honest, my experience with web.com wasn't the greatest, and I personally wouldn't recommend it. But if you're still interested in utilizing web.com to build your website, it's not a bad platform. There's over 3 million people that utilize it to build their websites, and you could have a really great experience with them. Mine just wasn't that great. Ultimately, I wound up going with Zyro to build my website. I loved the way that it moved. I loved the way that it operated. I loved the user interface. I thought it was super simple. I thought the dashboard was really easy to navigate. I thought it was just a simpler overall experience. And when you're an author, you want to spend your time writing, not working on your website. So Zyro was a better option for me. If you want to check out what I ended up building, you can check out my website at zsdiamante.com, where you can explore, you can get some ideas, and you can see some of the ways that I implemented some of the tools that Zyro had to make what I think is a pretty great author website. I've also included a link in the description below. And while you're over there, if you're interested in fantasy stories, which why wouldn't you be? And if you like free stuff, which come on, hello, grab a series of short stories that I wrote completely free for you. And if you're intrigued to learn a little bit more about Zyro and think it might be a better option for you, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and check out the videos that I have about Zyro and how you can get your website set up really quickly and easily. We'll see you guys next time.